What's going on, everyone? Jack here from Afcom, and today I want to talk about drones that cost less than $200 and maybe give you some options if that's your budget. But before I do that, I want to talk about a few different things as you probably want to know, and the first is the motors, right? The different kinds of motors on these drones matter. And you could have something like this. See this shiny silver motor? This is what we call a brushed motor. And a lot of times inexpensive drones will have brushed motors. They're not the best. They're okay. They're inexpensive. That's why they're on cheap drones. But what you really want are drones with brushless motors. They're generally a little bit bigger and they are more expensive, but they're more efficient and they do a better job just in general. They also will last a little bit longer. So check to see if your drone has brushed or brushless motors. That's kind of step one. Brushless, much better. Now, a lot of these drones will have various different sensors. Sometimes there's cameras on the bottom. This one has infrared. Sometimes you'll see obstacle avoidance sensors on top. Generally, these aren't very good, but they're something. Most of these drones will have GPS, and if you have GPS, then that enables a few other additional flight modes, things like return to home. Perhaps you get a follow me or an orbit or things like that. Look for flight modes and different sensors on these things. But I think the most important thing is, of course, your camera. Now, drones with a 3-axis gimbal, that's the best, right? A 3-axis gimbal allows the camera to kind of rotate in 3 different directions. Sometimes you'll have a 2-axis gimbal. This one here is 2-axis. It just doesn't have that yaw spinning. It doesn't stabilize that way. And there are even drones with 1-axis gimbals, something like this Neo, where it will stabilize up and down, but the other motions are done electronically. Now, some drones, even like this one, this Tello, doesn't have any gimbal, and all the stabilizing is done with electronics, right? And that's okay. You just lose a little bit of cropping in that picture, but you definitely want a drone that has stabilized footage if you're taking pictures and videos. If there's no stabilization, just avoid that drone. That footage is going to be super shaky and jittery, not useful. Also, don't be fooled. Just because it says 4K doesn't mean it's any good. There are a whole lot of things that go into the pictures and video. Make sure you take a look at the videos. Find a video on YouTube of that drone. Chances are I've got one on my channel. And then you can kind of see what you're going to get coming out of that camera. All right, let's talk about some different options for less than $200 that I think are worth taking a look at. Starting with this guy, this is a Seafly Faith Mini 1. There is a Mini 2, and yes, the Mini 2 is better, but it is more than $200. This one's usually right around $190. You get a 2.7K camera and a flight time of 26 minutes. It has GPS, various different flight modes, and it's less than 250 grams, which is a really big deal in the United States and a lot of different countries, because when it's less than 250 grams, you don't have to register with the FAA and it's not subject to remote ID. There's other rules and regulations that are kind of important in other countries, but 250 grams is kind of the magic number. So I like this one, and it's 2-axis gimbal, decent camera, not professional grade quality, and really, let's be honest, none of these drones are going to be professional grade quality for less than $200. Now, this little guy here is just $100. It's the Rise Tello. It's a really well-built drone for $100, right? You can save a little bit of extra cash and get one of these. It's image stabilized 720p HD video. It does have electronic image stabilization, but not a super far range, maybe 100 meters if you're lucky. It does have a handful of intelligent flight modes. It is incredibly stable because of the cameras and the sensors on the bottom. This is a really fun drone. You can fly it with your phone. You can even code it to fly autonomous missions with something like Drone Blocks or Tello EDU. I'm a big fan of this drone. I think it's a great learning tool. In fact, I use these in my classroom. I teach kids to program and code with this. Now, this guy here is a Holy Stone drone. There's the logo. And this is the 720G. There's a 720G, there's a 720R. And both of those drones are typically under $200. The G is a 3-axis gimbal, the R is a 2-axis gimbal. Maybe I'm mixing that up. Either way, take a look. It'll tell you on the specs. They're decent drones, 26-minute flight time, 4K video, but is it professional grade 4K? Absolutely not. It's good. It's got a few intelligent flight modes, GPS return home, but this thing is more than 250 grams, so you will have to register with the FAA. Decent drone, good beginner. This little guy is the LYRC L200 Pro Max. also sold as the Wii Phone 40 on Amazon. It's about $100, and this is a really good deal for $100. GPS, intelligent flight modes, decent camera. It's 2.7K, not 4K, 2-axis gimbal, and you get a flight time of around 20 minutes. It has a 3,000 meter range. That's just shy of 2 miles, and yes, this is less than 250 grams. I think this is a really good beginner drone. It's not incredibly durable, but it's $100. It's basically the best bang you can get, especially if you want stabilized video for less than $100. So maybe save an extra $100, put it in the bank, and save up for maybe a slightly better drone. Now, I do have a favorite drone for $200. I'm going to get to that in a second, but I have to tell you about my favorite drone for less than $20. Something like this. This is the Santa version of the Eachine E010. There's an E011, an E013, an E017. They're all basically the same. It's this really basic drone in this tiny whoop style frame where the propellers are guarded. It's like you can get these drones for somewhere between $15 and $20. They're great to fly. They're not super easy, right? They're kind of hard. It's a good challenge. You can even convert this to fly FPV. Loads of fun. I'm a big fan. For $20. Grab something like this, make it a stocking stuffer. Okay, so this is the DJI Neo, and I don't think it's even close. This is the best drone you can get for $200 or just under $200. It is fantastic, and there's so many different ways to fly this drone. You can fly it without a controller. You can fly it with your phone as the controller. You can fly it with a dedicated controller. You can fly it with a controller that has a built-in screen. You can fly this with a motion controller. You can fly this with an FPV controller and goggles. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to fly this. It has a really nice 4K camera. It is a 1-axis gimbal, but it is stabilized electronically, and it does a pretty darn good job. Now, it also has a bunch of built-in intelligent flight modes, circles, up and aways, dronies. It's awesome. Follow me. This drone is fantastic. Loads of fun, and like I said, it's pretty darn versatile. I made a couple of different videos on this if you want to kind of get some in-depth info, but I really like it. Super stable, sensors on the bottom, built-in GPS. It's $199, and you can really kind of grow with this drone. Even has these built-in propeller guards. I took the ones off on top. Helps make it pretty darn safe. And yes, it is less than 250 grams, so you don't have to register it with the FAA, and you don't need remote ID. But you're not going to get professional grade quality out of this drone, and I think you can for a drone that's just over $200. I know I said drones less than $200, but I have to talk about this drone here because it is pretty darn impressive. This is the Specta Mini, less than 250 grams, 4K camera, 3-axis gimbal, and you could do professional grade quality things with this drone if you wanted to. I took this on vacation and captured great pictures and video. This is the most expensive drone that I'm talking about today, and right now it's on sale for $219. So for $20 extra, this is what I would buy if I were you. It has the absolute best camera. The interface is really easy to use. It has a flight time of 31 minutes and a range of 10,000 meters. That's over 6 miles. It has a bunch of intelligent flight modes. This thing is a beast, and yeah, if it looks familiar, it's built on the DJI Mini 2 platform, but this thing has a leg up on DJI. There's no built-in geofencing, so you are the pilot responsible where you fly this thing. It's not going to tell you, no, we can't fly, we're too close to whatever. Fantastic drone, great camera, something I absolutely recommend. I think this is the best drone for beginners. The Neo, also super fun, different kind of drone, super versatile. So I would kind of think about those two. If your budget's $100, you're into coding, look at the Tello. If you're into aerial photography, the L200 is a pretty solid option, and those other ones, they're good as well, but I'd probably save up and buy one of these. If you're looking for an in-depth review on any of these drones, I've got them on my channel. Make sure you check that out. And, if you're going pro and you want a Part 107, I do that stuff as well. There's a whole tutorial for our Patreons. Check the video description down below. And if you're looking for one of these drones, I do have links down below. They're affiliate links, yes, but they help support this channel. So if you're going to buy one of these drones, use one of those links. I get a little commission. It doesn't cost you a thing. Or click on one of those links, buy something else. It still helps support this channel. Hey, thanks for watching. Good luck, everyone, and happy flying.